Hello, everyone, and welcome to Going 19. Today we are doing the second half of part 4 of 11/22/63, titled Sadie and the General. We're covering chapters 18 to 21. I am Ed. With me are Kirsten and Amber. Let's start the show.
The second section of this part was a lot better than the first. A lot more stuff happened, I feel like.
Okay.
Wow, I disagree.
Really?
Let's
Not that.
first. So we're doing part 4, chapter 18 to 22.
Uh-huh.
Right. Second part of part 4. Okay.
You feel like more happened in the first portion?
Well, I can't necessarily say that more happened, but up until the end of this section, I was so bored. Like, it took me the entire 3 weeks to read this because I was like, great, I don't care about Lee. I don't care about you not being with Sadie. I don't care about this. Like, this was so hard for me to get through this.
That's kind of how I felt about the last portion.
I mean,
And in typical fashion, it was just like bam, bam, bam. And I was like, oh my God.
I gotta find the page to start on 4 or something.
459 is where we are starting.
I do too much highlighting.
I
I don't know how to do
make a lot of highlights.
analytical reading.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I was saying, wow, this was a long section, but it wasn't even. We've had longer. It's just like I said. I don't know. I didn't care. I don't care about the Oswald stuff.
Well, you're gonna have to care a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like what this whole thing is about.
Again.
Yeah, and this whole time I haven't cared.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, that's obviously just my opinion, but.
Well, let's see how it goes. I mean, it's gonna. Yeah, it's a good book. So there's gonna be boring parts in a 900-page book, I guess. Nothing you can do
Oh
about it.
yeah, no, I'm not saying it's a boring book. I'm just saying this section has been the hardest for me because the whole time I was anticipating it to be about Lee Harvey Oswald, and it hasn't been. It's been interesting, and until now, in my opinion. So I'm like, oh great, here's the actual.
Yeah, and
plot.
the general still hasn't really shown up. I mean, sort of, but I mean, it's called Sadie and the General, and you're like, oh yeah, now he's gonna go kill this guy. Oh, that's the next chapter. Like, wait a minute. What do you
I wonder
mean?
if that's just misleading, like on purposely.
on purpose.
Sadie
Yeah.
was definitely in it. Was Sadie introduced in this chapter, in this section?
So long ago.
I know.
think she was introduced in like just a tiny bit in the last part.
Yeah, I think
Where they
that's
said
when
they
he
weren't gonna date or whatever.
I think
Mhm.
that's when she fell and he grabbed her boob. And
Yeah, they just
at the
like got
party.
introduced, but like we didn't really know Sadie. It was more just like we knew her name.
Okay, so now they're broken up. So that took half a section
Mhm.
to start dating and break up.
Mhm.
He put a phone in. I don't know what he needed a phone for, or what the relevance there is.
There's definitely a lot of
Uh,
relevance for later in the chapter.
I like how he signs.
Or
He
later.
writes her a letter and says, "I miss you. I'm sorry." Blah blah blah. And then he signs to George. I'm like, oh, that canceled out all the honesty I was trying to do.
I was thinking the same thing, yeah.
And then now all the Georges start showing up. So there's George de Shield, which I don't really know. And then there's George Boo, which when I did the audiobook, I thought he was just,
Is that how you say it? Boo?
that's just how he says it in the audiobook. I thought it was a nickname, like BOO. And then I read it. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Wait.
That's actually
Wait, how do you say the other one? Morin
De Shield.
Morin Shield?
De Shield. Yes, the
No,
shield.
Okay,
Shield.
I get the D part. I'm talking about Demorin Shield. I would not have guessed that.
That's how he says it in the audiobook. So.
Yeah, I figure you knew it, so I was like,
Orange Shield. Yeah, he doesn't say it that way. Although he's actually he's surprised he's German. I'm like, did you see the guy's last name?
Right.
Come on. So the Georges start getting introduced, and she seems to be surrounded by rich Georges. I guess I'll get to them. I don't know how much of this happened and how much of this he made up.
Right.
That is historically accurate. You
Yeah,
mean?
there's a lot of Georges swarming around this whole Russian girl, and they're all like, he keeps calling them expats.
Mhm.
So does that mean they're not, like, they
I
fell
didn't
out
really
of
get that.
they fell out of favor with Mother Russia? Because they kind of sometimes seem like that. And then
I didn't really understand.
Oh, I always assumed expat meant American. I guess that's a good point.
because there's something that I'm sure I highlighted it. General War. Oh, and what I did, like I was reading it and finishing it today. I mean, communism doesn't sound that bad the way they're presenting it.
I actually wrote that down. Because I literally wrote down somewhat agree with Oswald on some. Like I was starting to feel a little crazy because I'm like, I agree, capitalism is bullshit. I agree, people should not be racist. Like, wait a minute.
Well, I think that's he even mentions that at one point where he says like that's the problem with conspiracies is that anything could be possible.
Oh, yeah. There's no way to prove basically a conspiracy didn't happen because it's generally not.
But there's a large portion where they sort of equate, like in their conversations between, and I guess this is, Amber, why I didn't feel like it was boring. Between Demorstilt, or however you say it, and Oswald, they're going back and forth discussing how it's like communism and integration on one side, and on the other side it's capitalism and like racism. And I think that is what made me really, really start to question, like, I think I might agree with Oswald.
Yeah, Walker at some point still make me want to be equal. All the racist tenets that he starts speaking, or it's how everybody thought. Like they're better athletes. We're better at this. It's not their fault. It's not our fault. That's just the way they're made. So they don't want to be equal to us trying to do the shit we can do and we don't want to like. It was a big.
Yeah, but there was like one part where they were saying like, the one guy was like, oh yeah, like integration is like what you were saying, integration is bad because we're good at different things. Like you can't put, black children in with white children who are better at reading and writing. It's just not fair. I was like, that is not accurate at all. Like, but that's what
his argument was black people don't want it any more than
which okay. Obviously not accurate, but like I don't know, it just made me feel crazy because I was like, I know Oswald is crazy, but I kind of agree with some of the stuff that he's saying, so am I crazy? Like
I think that
good.
I think that was the point. Like that was how I took it, as like, wow, this guy, either King as the author or even oh my god, I forgot how you say it, the German guy, Demorenshield, that it's kind of like a good, I was gonna say like a good religious showman. Like you're putting on a great con, and it's meant to make, or like a cult, like it's meant to make you feel welcome. It's meant to make you feel good about what you believe in, and it's like it's also seated in some root of truth or some root of there are people doing bad things in the world. Like,
so you think that King purposefully constructed it that way to make the reader want to agree with them? Is that
I that was my impression. Yeah.
Okay.
That it's not all black and white. It's never all black and white with King.
No, it never is.
So Amber was saying that she thinks that Stephen King purposefully wrote it in such a way that we would like empathize and resonate with that.
It seems that way, but I don't think King likes Oswald. The names he keeps calling him.
No.
I don't really think he likes them. So why would he want us to be sympathetic?
I don't think it's that he's trying to get you to sympathize. I think it's just more of that, like, he always tries to get you to see what's going on from the other person's perspective as well. Like, hey, this could have been what's going on. Not that it makes it any better, but just to offer you another point of view. And it's not always that those people, it's just that they're bad people. It could be something else. Like, obviously, I think Lee is a bad person, but, like, you get to see, like, his wife, Marina. She doesn't seem like a bad person. Like, She's
No,
just
she's getting her ass beat on a regular basis. She's definitely not a bad person.
Yeah, when he says,
Which that's a whole other
I
thing.
didn't need to watch this, it didn't add to the story, but something about I couldn't help myself. But I thought about, because it made me uncomfortable just reading it.
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
how you just sat there and like watched and allowed that whole thing to
I
happen.
don't know
Don't you
that I
have-
could have done that. Right? I think I might have had to just. I think I might have had to intervene. I don't.
It drove me insane.
Intervene, or like at the very least, I would have had to go inside and not watch and listen to what was happening. I would have had to distance myself because
Yeah,
it's just so wrong.
Well, it drove me insane, the things that he, like, Jake decided he could and could not mess with this whole time. He's like, well, I can't mess with that because who knows what that would change. But then he would do something else, and he's like, who knows how, or he said, like, I just heard so many butterfly wings flutter. And it's like, what kind of rule book are you following? Like, there isn't
He's
one.
not. That's the problem. Like, it's so arbitrary. The whole thing.
Yeah, then he keeps moving to all these houses. I guess I can't.
I thought
Well,
it was
he's trying to get ahead of them.
Sorry, what did you say, Amber?
I was just saying, I think he was trying to get ahead of them so that he could get the best, like, viewing, you know what I mean, like visibility.
He's trying to figure out if he had help killing Walker. He's trying to figure out if he shot at Walker and if he had help.
Well, yeah.
If the Warren Shield
Helped.
conspired with him to shoot
then he's
Walker,
going to kill Kennedy regardless. And
then,
killing Oswald isn't going to do.
Oswald
Isn't going to
didn't
fix
do it
the
by
problem.
himself, basically. Yeah, I don't really care. I'd still say just shoot Oswald and go back and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, it wasn't him? All right, go back again and shoot somebody else. You know,
shoot everybody.
do it.
Doesn't matter. I don't know. I got the impression too that part of it was trying to be stealthy. Like, I feel like most people would kind of notice, like, if somebody's following them as they're moving, but if they're moving first and then the other person,
Right.
like, well, you're following me. Like, what do you mean I'm being weird or suspicious? Like, you're the one who's following me everywhere I go. You know what I mean?
Not like he's really trying to hide much, but, you know.
I wonder how much. I wonder how much of that beating stuff was historically accurate. I'm sure some of it is.
Yeah.
And the
God.
stuff about his mom, too. Like, that was kind of amusing to me.
The whole relationship between Oswald and his mom was kind of weird in general to me.
He hates her a lot, but all she does is bring him stuff, what's the deal with the groceries?
Well, it's like a backhanded compliment, though.
Mm-hmm.
They bring,
it's like,
they leave, they come back with groceries. Like, that guy should have enough food for the next 5 years.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird to me because it was almost like giving a backhanded compliment. Like, his mom was kind of tearing him down, but saying she was actually building him up. And, you know,
Well,
I'm just here to do this and that, but also you're doing stuff wrong. Like, you know, like
he didn't want her help. Like, he didn't even want her to know where they were. So it's definitely, I get the impression that her way of taking care and showing her love is by
being intrusive.
Money. But then also, like, one of the things that he mentions is that she clearly takes pleasure in torturing them. Like, she's just not a nice woman.
Well, it almost seemed to me like she was trying to pick fights between Lee and Marina, because, like, she would go in, like, stir the pot
she definitely
up,
was. There was no hiding that.
and then walk out, like.
Yeah, and
then he takes it out on her.
Attack the baby on one.
Yeah, that was weird too. The whole.
I don't know. Is she a bad person, or is she just an ungrateful little shit? Like,
both.
Maybe both. Yeah.
I think he's more ungrateful than she. I mean, I think she obviously cares, but there's
no way that Marguerite did not know that her son was beating Marina, and because there are visible marks, and it just so happens it happens right after every time you go in there and shake shit up. Like, come on, you know what you're doing.
I really don't think she cares. She doesn't have that kind of thinking, like, to think
But
how
that's
she's
what I'm
affecting
saying.
other people.
that makes you a bad person, though. That's why
Right.
I'm saying
I
I think she
agree.
is definitely a bad person. But I
Yeah.
also agree with Ed in his saying that Lee is ungrateful, because I also think he has some very, very serious psychological issues and complexes going on where he can't like accept help. I think he has a really difficult time with that. So I do think that he's ungrateful, but I also think that his mother is a bad person.
Right. I agree.
I think it's twofold.
Oh, yeah, and mom doesn't even really know what he's into. Robert, what's his brother's name? Robert had to like he's a commie mom. Like she had no clue what he was doing.
I think that is more excusing away her son's behavior because she loves him and he's the baby of the family, so he can do no wrong. I think
It's like
that's
Debbie.
a whole other layer. Because I have some of that goes on in my own family. So like I saw parallels with the excusing of behavior because that's the baby. That's the golden child type of, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like kind of excusing things that should not be excused just because that's my baby son. So
There's probably some of that. I'm sure there's.
That's
I don't really think anybody was making excuses for him.
Right.
For Lee Harvey Oswald.
No.
You don't feel like his mother ever made excuses for him throughout the...
Maybe before 1963.
I don't know what you mean. Yeah, I mean...
I'm talking in context of what we read. Not...
Like, do you have an example?
When Ed was saying, like, it's like she didn't know him at all because his brother was like, well, Mom, he's a commie. And she was like, oh, well... Like, she kind of, not explained it away, but kind of was like, oh, well, you know, it's fine.
Again, it's another thing where I kind of feel...
Yeah, like, oh, well, you know, that's Lee Harvey, you know how he is, and it's like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see that as excusing. It's more just like she doesn't care.
Probably both. I think she's a little clueless, she doesn't care, and what she does know, she wishes it away, you know.
But
Lee always say no. Lee say no. Lee say no.
Yeah.
But she say, honey, Lee always say no. It don't mean nothing. Something like that. I have it highlighted.
I just think that it's fiend ignorance is what I get out of it. And again, I'm making parallels to things I've seen in real life. Like a very, very, very similar situation in real life. And it's like, well, we didn't know that he was... Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You're pretending that you didn't because that's your baby and you want to believe that he's God's gift to the earth, but he's not.
I don't see her rolling out the red carpet for him. Like, I don't see any concern or care for him.
She's bringing him stuff, showing up on it. She's controlling.
Yeah, and she wanted him to like live with her too.
Yeah.
Oh, and he said something about they're going at it, and she's telling him to shut up. I'm like, ew, what?
Yeah, she's like, don't make another baby. You have to take care of the first one first. I was like, oh, that's just...
I don't see me doing that with my mom right there.
It's also weird because they took her bedroom and she was sleeping on the couch.
Yeah.
I found that odd too.
That poor couch. She's a big woman, right? Or did I get that wrong?
I don't remember.
I think she was a little...
I got the impression that she didn't actually say. I know spick. I like how he says, oh wait, it was back here.
But that's another example of what I'm talking about, Amber. Like, I'm like, don't get me wrong. Like, people do a lot of things for their children, but I feel like most people wouldn't be like, oh, here, you guys take my bed and have sex in my bed and I'll sleep on the couch, and be okay.
Yeah, but you also, I can also absolutely see that being her, like, I have people in my family who would do that and then hold it over your head for the rest of your life. Be like, I slept on the couch while you were staying in my house. even though
Yeah.
you tried the entire time to get them to sleep in their own bed and they refused to
Yeah.
do so.
I didn't get the impression
I'm
that's
assuming
what happened.
I know who you're talking about, right?
A person I love very much, but yeah. Not that she actually does hold it over my head, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why he rented that house. See, I can't keep all my addresses straight either.
There's so
I gave up
many.
on that.
There's West Neely Street. There's Mercedes Street. So I think the one with snakeskin boots is Mercedes Street.
Yeah,
And
that was the one with
Mercedes
all the kids,
Street was
right?
Yeah, with the jump roping girls.
Yeah.
It's Mercedes Street.
Yeah, they're right. The jump rope girls. Yeah. So that's
Mhm.
Mercedes Street. So the slumlord.
The snakeskin guy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like the way he calls him that, because that just kind of sums him up perfectly in 2 words. It's like, that's all I need to know about. He's like a shady, slimy used car salesman.
So shady. He never even fixes the step.
And if you want me to fix it, I'll have to charge you $5 more a month. Like,
No, he says that about the holes in the wall. He says he'll fix
I
the
thought that
step.
was
He said he would
Oh.
fix the step, but if they wanted him to fix the holes in the wall, he had to charge more per month. The security deposit, first and last, and rent wasn't enough. Are you kidding me?
It was. Yeah.
There are literal holes in the wall. Fix it.
I'm with his brother. Why would you even take that?
Yeah, no way.
I don't know why he.
Because he's so desperate to get away from his mom.
So he just took the first place he
That's
saw.
literally what he says. He's like, I cannot live with our mother anymore. I'm going to kill her if I stay here.
Yeah. That's kind of a creepy thing to read when he says that.
Like, he literally says that, like, I'm going to kill her or, like, myself, I think is what he says.
This pig in a poke, when Marina sees it, she'll be on you like flies on a dog turd. Oh, something, Marina. But if I don't something from Ma and out of that little apartment, I'm gonna have to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
He's up to kill a couple people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait, yeah, oh, there it is. Take it easy on that, you two. She's sleeping in the living room, you know. She hollers, it's too soon for another one.
So gross.
Yeah, but, she's not necessarily wrong, right?
Honestly, I feel like it's weird that they're doing that with her there at all, but...
I mean, I can't say I didn't take some adventurous risks when I was younger, but,
I don't...
When you're married and doing a family thing, I don't know that. But she's not wrong. I mean, if they're sleeping basically on a couch in Mom's house, maybe they shouldn't be. Maybe they should get. Well, it's not like you're gonna stop having sex.
I don't know.
Do it when she's not there, at least.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
Because I don't really want them like sleeping on the couch and doing it there either. Because I got to sit on that couch.
Right. Or at least like ignorance is bliss type of situation. Like if you're doing it when I'm not home and I have no idea, I can just pretend like it didn't happen.
I don't even have to pretend like it didn't happen. You're doing it when I'm not there. I don't care.
I do if I have to sit on that furniture.
Well, be like my grandparents and get some plastic. Hey, I think that might have been my fault.
No.
My headphones were making ticking noises, so I was trying to fix them when I think my hand hit the thing. So
that kind of brings us forward quite a bit because a lot of this is about, like Amber said, Marina, Oswald, his mom.
About him following
their life, basically.
Yeah. I mean, there is kind of, it's just, there's a lot of Oswaldy stuff. What's I saying about that? Other than he keeps moving, Mom keeps following him. Different people named George start showing. Like, where did George come from? The fuck is this? Like, is he like from the Russian embassy? Like, who is this guy? And who's George Boo? Like, where did these people come from?
Well, supposedly they're all taken with Marina.
Well, yeah, I kind of want to see a picture.
She was very pretty. I did look her up.
I forgot she was a real person. I was like, how?
I wanted to. Oh my god! I wanted to
you can look up Pennywise. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I wanted to know how many children they actually had in real life. Like, did they actually have two? Because I wanted to know if Jake changed the trajectory based on his involvement. Like, because when he said that he found out she was pregnant again, he's like, oh, that really changed my perspective on things, even though Al didn't seem to care. And I was like, wait, so did they always have two children? Is she pregnant again because he messed with the timeline, or what's the situation? So that's kind of how I started looking the family up, because I wanted to know who, like, did they actually have two children, or did they only have one in real life?
What did you find?
They did have two in real life as well.
I mean, we don't necessarily, like, he hasn't technically done anything yet that, like, would have interfered with them, except for her meeting him now, but she was pregnant before that.
I don't know that she's...
Those pictures weren't very good.
She doesn't look gorgeous.
The ones I saw were prettier. Hang on, let me... I just felt like she looked prettier in the ones that I saw.
Are we Oswald shaming?
So, where were we? Bunch of Georges, and Marina's not hot enough for all them Georges.
I think she's very pretty.
She's pretty. I mean, but, you know, maybe, I guess these are just old, horny scumbag men.
Oh, gosh. I mean, the George
with money?
Boo, or however, I thought it was like Bowie or something.
I'm pretty sure.
But that guy... definitely, like, they make it pretty clear that he's like a creepy old guy. It seems like they're in business together, because they're together a lot.
They have some secret Russian feud where they keep
yeah.
talking out Georgie.
I guess. All right. I am on page 477. I might have jumped ahead a little bit, according to where Ed is at.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm seeing if there's anything I really need to.
The next thing I have to talk about is on 477, I guess I should say.
You mentioned Jonathan Franzen. I don't know if you guys know that.
I do not.
I haven't read him. He's an author, but every time I go to the thrift stores, he's all over the place. So like, he's one of those ones that I'm meaning to get to, and I haven't gotten to. He's like... who's the other one he mentions? John D. McDonald, and there's someone else. We just talked about them.
There was a lady they talk about. Is that the one you're thinking?
Talking about Shirley Jackson?
That might be one.
He's too damn skinny. Well, I did want to. Well, yeah, I'm a page for you. So, Peter Gregory. Let me see if I got this right. He's the first link in the chain that would lead DeMore and Shield to Mercedes Street. So DeMore and Shield came from Peter Gregory? Okay. He was a Russian expat, but I don't really know what that means. But he was from Siberia, taught Russian, blah, blah, blah. Is it me, or is there a lot of people in 1963 that are taking Russian lessons for some reason?
I think there aren't that many people. It's just that you don't really see it because we're not like part of that community. Like, I don't know anyone who speaks Russian, so obviously I don't know anyone who's going to come to anyone I know to learn how to speak Russian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that, but I don't know.
It's I was thinking exposure factor.
Maybe because of the times and the Bay of Pigs, and everyone thinks the world's about to blow up in a nuclear Armageddon. Maybe they're figuring they better learn to start speaking Russian in case they take over.
Yeah, but wasn't the Bay of Pigs? I mean, wasn't the Cold War like years later?
No, that happens in this chapter.
Yeah, they talk about it in this.
Skipped over that.
I thought those were different.
Mhm.
That part's a little confusing. I'll mention that when I get to it. But I'm supposed to be Peter Gregory apparently, so I just said that brings the Mourn Shield. I don't know how. And his kid is Paul Gregory, who takes the lessons.
His dad,
Mhm.
my understanding was that Peter is Russian, but his child Paul was born in the United States, so he never learned Russian, and he wants him to know Russian because that's his heritage. And that's why George and Peter know each other, because they're both part of the Russian community.
Okay. What he was really interested in, what all the expats were interested in, Lee must have felt, was former Marina Prosakova, a young girl from Minsk who had somehow managed to escape the clutches of the Russian bear, only to wind up in those of an American boar. So yeah, he doesn't like Oswald. I mean, how could you? There's nothing to like.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think he's a bad guy.
The wife beater who kills the president, because he's. I don't know that we'll ever know why. Many reasons, I guess, is to say. All right, so go ahead. What do you got?
So something, you know how he kept saying the past is obdurate, the past is obdurate, the obdurate is the past. I feel like it kind of morphs into the past harmonizes with itself.
Yeah.
Did anybody else notice that he says that all the time too?
He also says
History
It's also-
repeats itself. It's another.
Yeah, I wrote that down. History repeats itself is another way of saying the past harmonizes. I'm like, that's a good point.
He just keeps going back to that about, oh look, the past is harmonizing again. Oh look, this is the harmonizing past. Like he just keeps
I was
saying that.
I was a lot more sold on the obdurate past theory because of all the things that kept happening than I am on this past harmonizing. Like, I'm not quite understanding, unless I guess now talking about it, that history repeats itself does make more sense, because it's like, it's very, again, it seems to be arbitrary, like what harmonizes, and it's like trying to fill out the hardest crossword puzzle ever because you only have half of each clue.
Mm-hmm.
well, that's all you ever get in that car. You're lucky you get that much. Near the end of this section, he says the past harmonized, but it's also obdurate. So he's acknowledging both, I think.
He is, but I was just wondering if anyone else noticed that, because I know we had talked about the obdurate thing, and I'm like, did anybody else notice he keeps talking about this harmonizing thing too?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
He has, yeah, but like that's my point. It keeps coming up that he keeps saying this and saying it and saying it.
He's getting closer to why he's there, so he's noticing things. And I think,
well, he's been there longer, so he can compare too.
I think saying the past harmonizes is a way of, not a way, it's him cheating instead of thinking about what he's seeing. He's like, it's just, it did that because it did that before. That's why I'm seeing it.
Exactly.
If you had paid more attention,
you wouldn't get
what you think is just the past harmonizing. Maybe it wouldn't have went the way it went, I guess.
I even wrote that down. I was like, you better be careful assuming that everything's going to happen the way it happened or didn't happen the way it happened before just because he recognizes it. Like, it kind of reminds me of 19.
I kept trying. I keep doing that now too, where I keep trying to make everything 19, which it worked for a lot of things.
Some of these are real numbers. He didn't make them up, so the addresses are what they were. He couldn't just. I guess he could have. He's done that.
Yeah,
before.
he could have, but I mean, there were a lot of things that I was like, "That's 19."
Everyone brings groceries. Even when they went out and came back an hour later, they had a truck full of groceries.
I more saw it as them showing that the community is supporting him and not Oswald. Excuse me.
The community is supporting Oswald.
It's supporting them and his family. Like he's not.
Oh, I'm sure it is. But God, how much food can you eat? Mamushka's bringing food and Boo's bringing food.
Yeah, but time passes a lot faster than I realize when I'm reading these, like months at a time.
He said, I was just reading, I have that the Stephen King companion. I was reading that. He said, and this is off topic, Under the Dome is a week long. So what? It felt like it was
What?
way longer than that. Like it felt like that was months.
Yeah, that felt at least like 3 or 4 months. Because
Yeah.
isn't he? Never mind.
Yeah, we're gonna have to read that one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it kind of goes without saying. We'll be like 85 and only be halfway through his books. So yeah, I just thought, I was like, what? No way, that was a week.
It doesn't make sense with Junior, is all I'm thinking. But anyway.
Peter Gregory then has a party, and Oswald blew his top. Did he talk about what happened, or he just says that he did it? Because he says, "Why did Oswald blow his top at Peter Gregory's party?" Like, what are you talking about? When did that happen?
He does, because he starts yelling, doesn't he? Or
I think so.
wait.
I'm looking at it now.
What page are you on?
478. Second paragraph. Why did
I
Oswald
remember
blow?
them talking about it though.
Yeah, I mean,
I wrote down, or is it Jimla? I thought for no reason at all, and Shiver, like he just is created this monster out of this word now.
I was just gonna say that, Amber. Your gym law's back.
Yeah.
he mentions the yellow card man later on, I think, too.
He does.
That threw me for a loop. Oh my god.
Yellow card man knew, and it killed him. or
Killed
something.
him. For some reason, I do remember, like, I feel like they did talk about it, but
No.
maybe not.
I remember also, but I can't. Oh yeah, it starts.
What?
I think it's here, isn't it? Just came out. So
What are you talking
what we were just talking about.
Jimla?
Nope. We were talking about him.
Lee blowing up at the party.
Oh. Well, I know where it talks about it. I don't know where it actually is.
But that wasn't, no, well, later on, it's him at the front door. Maybe I got those two mixed up in my mind.
Got off the bus.
But he doesn't blow up. Never mind. That's, I don't know what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Oh, that was the first George Boo sighting, too, at that party.
Yes, another George. The past harmonizes in all sorts of ways. Sky and
See, I told you I didn't like that damn George Amberson name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
Too many
funny,
of them.
too, when Sadie says she also hates the name George.
I know. She's like, good. Like Jacob, like you fought the devil or something. Like, okay, I can get with that name. Well, what if George was my name? What the fuck? Like, I don't like Sadie. How do you feel about that? Stupid name after a fake dance. I guess it's not a fake dance, but a backwards dance, whatever it is. The place was heartbreakingly neat. It's kind of a funny way to put it.
Demorshil. What is it? Demorshil?
Demoran Shield.
Demoran Shield. A lifelong connoisseur of crazy. I thought that was funny. Because that's the whole reason that him and Oswald meet, because Oswald makes this huge scene at the party and he's like, oh, a crazy guy? I want to talk to him. I like crazy people. I thought that was funny.
So that's where it comes from. Who's telling him about Oswald? Gregory?
Everybody at the party, because he makes a scene. You're saying who tells Warren Show about him?
Like,
Everybody at the party, because he makes a scene. That's what I was just saying. Boo would say, the young man strikes me as crazy, Boo would say. Demora Shield, a lifelong connoisseur
So the
of
getting
crazy.
acquainted party, was that in Oswald's honor? Was it a party for him? Who
No.
was getting acquainted? And what's a Tudor house? I have no idea what that means.
A Tudor is like a...
Small but handsome fieldstone and timber Tudor house.
Well,
it's a
if
type
you're
of
not
house, but I don't
into
know
it,
what it was. It's a
It's
house you
like
can
your
choose
typical-
online.
It's a typical, like, starter home. It's not, yeah, it's nothing, like, to write home about.
Damn Tudor. All right, I wrote a question mark there.
You highlighted stuff, so it's probably about that.
The smart thing to do would be remove the bug. I could reconnect with Oswald on April 10th of next year, watch him try to assassinate Evan Walker, and if he was on his own, I could then kill him just as I had Frank done. Why do you... I say just go do it. Why are you waiting? So if he shoots at Edwin Walker, didn't they say it was the same gun? Did they say that yet? The one that the 38's the same gun as the one that killed the cop. But
yeah, but I think he used the same gun to kill General Walker as
rifle.
JFK. I think that was the whole.
So if it's the same gun, then it's Oswald by himself. I don't know.
If Oswald kills Walker by himself, then it can be inferred he killed JFK by himself. Was Owls?
Yeah. like he even says it himself. You can never be 100% sure. Like, well, then why are you trying?
What's the point of all this?
Why are you trying to get to 98%? Because
okay, hear me out. Lee Harvey Oswald is just a dick in general. So, is it really that bad if you kill him and he wasn't the one that killed JFK? His wife and his kids from abuse. Come on. Whatever. She's halfway out the door because he's beating the shit out of her. I don't know. I feel like it's no harm, no foul. I grew up with that too, and I was.
Let's hope you're never on a jury.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Hey, if this podcast helps me evade jury duty for the rest of my life, I'm totally fine.
I am not okay with that.
Yeah, right. That's a very severe criminal justice system.
I'm speaking into the microphone.
If you just start murdering every person who's done something bad, then...
Yeah, I mean, you gotta live with this, too. It's not like...
He's beating his wife. I can live with that. Worst case scenario, I get someone who's beating their wife out of the equation. Best case scenario, I get someone who's beating their wife and also kills the president out of the equation. Seems fine to me. He already killed Frank Dunning for the same reason.
No, but he knows. Yeah, he knows that Frank Dunning is a murderer.
There's no doubt.
Okay, I know for a fact that he's still beating the shit out of his wife. So,
and that means he should die.
He can't.
I'm not gonna feel bad.
You can't learn to be better. I mean, execution's all or nothing. There's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's heartless over here.
Don't beat your wife, and your children.
To die for that.
I mean, there are a lot of people who would be dead right now if that were the case.
Right?
There are a lot of people that are dead from domestic abuse.
I agree. I'm not defending domestic abuse, or I'm defending the possibility at him.
Well, either way, if someone
of punishment,
dying regardless,
then just let him beat her and she'll die.
Okay. There's a difference between murder and hitting someone. Obviously, I understand domestic violence. It can obviously is usually a pattern, but I'm not if somebody dies because they are being beaten, that's murder. That's different.
Yeah, no, that's way different.
But that is proving my point.
But Marina is still alive. I mean, I understand that it's a very fine line. I'm not even trying to make that argument.
But yeah, I mean, she lives. She survives. I mean, he says that several times. It might suck. She gets out of there through no. I don't. She probably would have been dead if he didn't kill the president.
Right. That's why I
don't think there's much doubt about that. That's where that was going, and pretty quickly that shit was escalating.
Well, so you guys
still don't
agree with me?
No, I don't.
No.
I know what you're saying, though, because you're saying he's going to kill Marina if he doesn't kill the president. So either way, he's killing somebody. So
maybe.
Are we for the better?
Either she learned unless she goes to court and gets ordered to get help,
which is never going to happen, especially in the 1960s.
You know that's why.
Because it doesn't happen today. It's definitely not going to happen in the 1960s. In the 1960s, it was whatever happens in the home, it's your business.
It does happen.
It's a very fine line to cross when you start charging people for crimes that they are likely to commit and killing them for crimes they're likely to commit, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's
Well, it's all,
what this entire book is about.
yeah, it's all make believe.
No, well, I guess technically, I mean, I don't know. I believe that Oswald was guilty. But the only reason why we know Frank was guilty is because it's a fictional character and we saw it all happen already. So that's not a fair comparison.
What's your point?
Meaning, I think that Oswald is as guilty as Frank. Therefore, we can say that he should kill him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not for beating his wife, though, as bad as that sounds.
I'm not defending Oswald, but I don't think that you just start killing people because you think they did it. I mean, I get wanting to be sure, but with the rabbit hole, like, well, shoot him and just kind of see what happens. If Kennedy still dies, then you go back and say, all right, what happened? Like, I'm not waiting 5 years every time.
That's a good point, right?
But I don't know. That's an unwinnable argument, so I think we should just leave that where it is. Those people talking, if they all, I mean, generally speaking, wife beaters should probably die, generally speaking. But I like to think that everybody has an opportunity at learning from their mistakes, depending on how bad they were.
I would like to think that too, but statistically speaking, that is not the case.
Does that
That's
mean
also why we have prison.
What is
right? Like some people do, not many, but some people do learn. Some people turn.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying, Amber, but the problem is that's not how it happens. That's not.
No, I'm not saying people are going to be rehabilitated. I'm saying we lock them up and keep them away from society so they don't hurt others.
No, I completely agree with you. The problem is with domestic violence. That's not what happens.
Yeah. But my point is, you can't kill every man.
I'm not saying you should kill
person
every
who's been
man,
abusive.
or one person that he's intending to kill anyway. Not saying he should go out and find every woman beater and kill them all. I'm saying we're specifically.
But that's the same logic.
Okay.
I don't even remember how we got on this conversation.
Yeah.
It's an unwinnable conversation, and it's all hypothetical anyway. So let's just keep it moving. We could stay on that topic for the next.
I know.
hour.
Yeah.
Aren't all hypothetical conversations unwinnable?
I don't know. Unless the hypothesis becomes a theory, then you got to write a paper, and then somebody has to prove you either right or wrong. Okay, where the fuck were we? I lost it.
We were talking about how him and DeMorishill.
The party. How did they meet? The party's in his honor. Why did he lose his shit? If Marina tried to speak English, he would reprimand her. He doesn't want her knowing English. I guess then she could talk to anybody and leave him.
An abuser thing.
Keeping her separated.
Isolated.
Well, that didn't work because all the Russian people just showed up and talked to her in Russian. She lit up like a candle when she got to speak some Russian.
Yeah, but that like really.
She can talk to someone.
Yeah, everything pissed him off. This ignorant little bugger. He's a delusions of grandeur. Wait, what did he say? Something back here. Al called it. Fuck. He's like, 2 words I didn't expect to see from a short order. Something. Hypoxial anxiety or something.
Oh,
hysterical fixation. That's what. Yeah,
hysterical fixation. Yeah.
And I think he's talking about Lee. Alsner said nothing. I doubted if she was done with. Oh, Mamushka has the hysterical fixation, not Lee. Okay. Then the kid unfortunately knocks on the door and gets berated. I think that was funny. He gives him his whole speech on why capitalism sucks. And the kid's like, so you're going to buy anything? Like, wait, you don't have any money? Why didn't you just tell me that? He's like, I'm telling you why I don't have money. He's like, I could have hit 3 more houses. Now I got to go to hell home without any money.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
8-year-old doesn't care about your political ideologies.
Very relatable.
Yeah.
He just wants to know. He wants to sell enough tickets to get the free bike at the school raffle. I did that. I knocked on doors till like 8 at night every day for a week, trying to win something at my grade school raffle. So sure, I finally did it, and then somebody beat me by like 1. I was so pissed. I got second place. I was so mad. Like, I did all that work for second place. I'm never doing that again. Like I would take you look at the raffle books. I would just take a book like to a melon function and be like, here, everybody buy one. You know, and they can't say no when you know the cute little 12-year-old says he's trying to get his own bike. So yeah, that was relatable because I know exactly where that kid's coming from. Like I don't care.
I think we all do. We've all encountered adults that they just start their little soapbox, and you're like, I just want to play, man.
And then he's like, you see, that's what we're up against. Like what? A 10-year-old that doesn't want to hear about communism?
Pretend.
The 10-year-old even understands what that is. And then Sadie calls him. And he knew it was her because the past harmonizes, I guess.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I would be
Again, that doesn't make any sense. It didn't happen on before.
And he's still saying all the dumb shit. He said something, yeah, done deal. She said, how did you know it was me? He's like, I almost said harmonics.
George was speaking out loud, and Jake on the inside saying all the things George couldn't.
I think it's funny. I was cracking up when she was like, something. I met the congressman guy, I forget, Roger B, and he's like, I want to kill him.
Yeah, I like how it kind of says, like, it's like what he says out loud and then what he wants to say. I'm fine, I'm lonely.
Yeah, well, that's there was Jake and George.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I like how he kept going with that concept and like.
We all do that. You say one thing and you think another.
Right.
Almost all the time.
And that's again that I guess that resonance of being able to relate. Like, oh yeah, I know exactly what he's doing.
I don't know how he does it because I don't think Stephen King's lived in the real world in a long time. But a lot of his stuff is so relatable. But he hasn't had any of those experiences in probably 4 years.
How about you? How was your summer? Did you get it done? Have you cut your legal ties to your weird husband? It just kind of cracked me up. And then, oh shit. Like, just
no,
like,
yeah.
No, I want to kill him.
Yeah, like, I met somebody. Oh shit. Like, oh crap.
I don't know, George. Are you glad? No, I want to kill him.
I not only want to kill him, I want to do it slow. Because they were making out.
Yeah.
I mean, I can relate to that.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't understand why she's telling him all this.
Yeah.
Like, why would you say, oh, yeah, I met some guy and we were making out?
She clearly wants a reaction of some sort.
Oh, yeah, there's one point where she directly challenges him. And he's like, she says that. She was challenging me, and he didn't take the bait. I forget what it was.
Are you hiding a broom?
This is for Sadie, and this is for the broom.
Yeah. And this is for me.
I thought that was funny. This is for the broom.
Yes, I thought it was weird that he was like, you can't hit me. I'm like, oh, never mind. I remember why he said that now. Never mind, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was
literally insane.
Yeah, that guy is
quite literally insane.
It was a little
insane.
I don't know. We're not really there yet, but we're getting there. But it was a lot of things. And of course, you have the inside scoop, and Senator Kuchel doesn't.
I felt like it was extremely relatable that she ends up going and getting back with him.
Comfortable. It's her first love. I mean,
real. Yeah, she definitely didn't love her first husband.
Yeah, I'm gonna say she didn't love that guy.
No, she married him out of obligation because her parents loved him.
It's her first sexual experience, so there's a lot of time into that too.
Yeah.
But the fact that she keeps warning him, like, I'm out on a limb here, George. Like, okay, either you're back or you're not. You don't get to come back and like tell me about all the risk you're taking all the time. Like, just be here and be in. Don't.
I don't know. I could relate to that.
It's like a guilt trip.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it was also I can see her perspective because it's just her anxieties, which I understand because I'm a very anxious
Come
person
back when it's
myself.
over. Like,
I more saw it as like sarcasm, sort of. Like, that's how I would respond. Like, well, he better be, because I'm out on a limb here.
Yeah, I didn't get that tone from her, though. Nobody in 1960 seems to have sarcasm.
You don't think so?
No, they seem very official, stuffy almost.
I don't really get
Deke has
that.
sarcasm.
I thought it was funny that at the top of page 486, he says, "Who am I to stand in the doorway to history?" I said, "Yeah, who are you to change history at all?"
Wait, but who actually said that?
He did. Jake does.
George.
Jake does. Jake, George, whatever. Because then Sadie goes, "What? What did you say, George?" "Nothing, hon."
Yeah.
He's the one who says
she
that.
says what I thought. What I still think is, who am I to sit at the feet of greatness? I'm just a librarian. He says, who am I to stand at the doorway to history? That's a quote. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I thought you meant in the book.
No. Where did he pull that from?
I don't know, but now that you say the sound, it does sound
I think
familiar.
it was like she said that, and that was the first thing that popped in his head. Like it came from somewhere else. Like if it was me, that would have been like a Simpsons quote.
I think it could have been like double meaning though, like.
Yeah, oh for sure. Who am I to sit at the feet of greatness? That's definitely a quote from somewhere.
No, that's Sadie.
You don't think that's a quote from anywhere else?
No. Maybe. It might be. I think the doorway to history, that one was real familiar. So,
both of them sound familiar to me.
Yeah, it's because we just read it.
Probably.
Check this out if I like keywords on tablets or not. George Wallace in 1963 fucking said that. Go figure. You know why? Because the past harmonizes.
Stop it.
And it was a segregation conversation.
Oh, no way. Wait, what was the exact date that he says it?
Hold on. And it was a guy supporting segregation.
January 14th, 1963. But I don't know if that's the date of the quote or something else.
Yes, it was his inauguration. And he's saying why we should not have integration, why we should stay segregated.
So this is after that date, so it's already been said.
Yes. Which is
interesting.
So he could have got himself in trouble if he just got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Or more trouble, should I say? Or maybe at this point she's just like, oh, right.
Yeah, let's talk about that. He gets himself into a lot more trouble. He starts telling Sadie like all of this stuff and he's like, I probably shouldn't have told her that. Well, like, yeah, probably not.
He said that a lot, especially in the last like 50 pages.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
probably shouldn't have said that.
That's kind of the next important
and how
thing.
Come there's no butterfly when you're telling her all this shit?
Right. Like, everything's gonna be fine. Like, I understand why he tells her, but at the same time, I'm like, it's not really. She shouldn't know all that.
He's losing or lost his focus. She's more important than what he's doing. So, like, I'm sure he's already thinking about. I mean, I'm taking her. What if I take her back through the rabbit hole?
I kind of admire it though. I'm always a fan of love. I'm really big on like, I love love. So like, even though I shouldn't support it because like it's not what he's there to do and it's not a good decision, I still am like secretly kind of rooting for them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm not rooting for him, but I mean,
they're cute.
All she's got to do is wait like 6 more months, and then you're gonna have all of me. Like you got to put that aside for now. And if she's not willing to wait,
loves her so much.
But he's trying to change the goddamn world. She's gonna have to wait. So what?
The thing is, he has to. I don't know what his plan was before, but he's got to be damn careful now because if he plans on staying there with her, he can't be suspected by the police. And he,
Right.
I mean, I can't imagine he'll convince her to go with him through the rabbit hole. Like, her life is there. Not everyone's like him.
I don't know that he's thought that far ahead yet.
I feel like also I feel like her mind would literally implode if she walked
Right.
from 1963 into
Yeah.
2011.
I think that'd be awesome. I would love to walk to like 2201 and see what that's like.
It's not the
I
same.
get that, but I also
Oh, wait, 2201. Never mind. You're right.
Did I
Yeah.
say that right? This is 2020, 2101.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I was thinking 20. Never mind. Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know. I just feel like the technological advances that happened between 1963 and 2011 are so intense that people, like somebody making that shift, would literally lose their mind.
Let's say we what's the word? Reverse engineered all the alien spaceships. That's why we advanced them.
Okay.
You don't know that one?
I wasn't listening. I didn't hear what you said.
We reverse engineered all the alien spaceships we crafted, which is how we advanced technology so fast in 15 years.
So
Come on, you're supposed to be watching Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, it couldn't be from anywhere else.
I just feel like her mind would totally explode. And also, I understand that Al brought back meat, but we don't know what would happen to a person that he brings back.
Well, how come he can go through just fine?
I don't know. Like Ed said, it's very fragile, the rabbit hole.
Well, I also agree with him in the fact that he probably hasn't nearly thought that far ahead. And that's what scares me, because I'm all for their love, but I have a feeling things don't end well for them, or for Sadie, or for Jake. At least one of them.
They already almost didn't end well twice in like a matter of 40 pages. Yeah, like.
Well, all I can say to that is, have you ever read Stephen King?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's all I have to say about that.
Exactly.
Okay, but that's the problem you guys have. So
he's not a big fan of Happy Meals.
Have different.
Yeah, and he loves
a couple, but there's not many.
He loves to build great love stories and then kill off at least one of the partners. So
destroy them.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Love is fleeting. All right.
And
so are we up to the part where the incident happens with Sadie, or do we have like a million things in between that you highlighted?
Like 60 pages.
Yeah, but you also highlight literally everything.
Oh, wow. Excuse me.
I do not see that. There's most of that page is not highlighted.
You have something highlighted on literally every page. That's
I have that too, but it doesn't mean it's all.
I also skip over most of it, but it's more of a.
I don't know.
You never know. Very judgy today.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. That's why it takes so long, because you highlight everything.
I could just write down 5 questions, I guess.
I mean, I do feel like we can kind of move past the whole.
Have you guys?
Amber's like, I don't like this chapter, so.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm over Oswald.
What? Have we what?
Have you read Atlas Shrugged?
No.
Neither. I probably should have looked it up, because they talk about that like she's the enemy of communism, and I don't really know what
that's what I was talking about. But there's another author. That
the lady. Yeah, Ayn Rand.
I
know of it, and a lot of my peers in high school had to read it, but I wasn't one.
I had never even heard of it.
It's one of those classics. I didn't realize it was I guess, anti-communism rant. But they're making it like, it's like, why are you doing it? What is that? What does the young revolutionary doing with these? Oh, your enemy. And he used the same word. Does anybody know what creed de corps means? I mean, by context, I know what it means, but like he says, that's the second time somebody said that to him. Because Mimi says, what's Salinger's creed de corps and Catcher in the Rye? And I got it by context, and I didn't care enough to actually look it up. Plus, I was reading. Me and Kirsten both did pretty much all our reading yesterday.
I've been reading it for 3 weeks.
And half today.
I've been busy. I usually read it at work, and I haven't had any downtime this week.
Oh man! Wow, that's hard for you.
It is. I can't make podcasts, right?
Oh my gosh! You actually have to work at work. Imagine that. It's a tough life you lead.
I feel like you're hitting.
Yeah, I was like, refer to judgy comment earlier.
Oh my gosh.
I mostly babysit. I just wait for something to go wrong. If it doesn't go wrong, then I'm good. But I have to be there in case it does go wrong.
Yeah.
I can't say anything because the thought I had was, oh, I had a lot of time to read at work this week.
I literally never have any time to do anything during the work week other than work.
Anybody know what the SNCC is? The NAACP up front?
Yeah.
SNCC, black on top, red inside. So is that some
That's what I was saying.
integration?
Glossed over this whole part.
The NAACP is.
Well, I know what that is.
Isn't that what you just asked?
SNCC. I know what the NAACP is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were.
And how are they still calling themselves that? Colored people. How are they? I thought you weren't allowed to say that.
They may not be. I mean, this was 2011.
No, I'm pretty sure they still are the NAACP.
They, to my knowledge, they are, but it's not.
I don't care what society.
When it was found, like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, it's already an organization that's been formed. We're just gonna like keep the.
Yet the Redskins had to change their name.
Okay,
Yeah.
You care so much about the Redskins.
Well, I don't. It's just an example. I feel like that's something that should have had its name changed by now. I mean, we're taking down. And see, I had this argument with certain siblings. So you can figure that one out. He always, because my grandfather, your great grandfather, your great grandfather is 90, will be 96 this year, and he says colored people, and he's said it since 1930 or something. And Sean and I have this argument because Sean says he shouldn't say that, and I said, but he grew up, it was okay.
People do still say
and now,
that.
60 years later, you're telling him it's not okay. I don't know. You can't put the lens of today on the actions of yesterday. And Sean doesn't see it that way.
Do still say that though, because colored people encompasses not just Black people but other ethnicities as well.
I've never heard it anywhere but Black people, but maybe.
I've heard it used.
I would like it to be used that way. I've never heard it that way.
I have.
Well, I don't know why you need to use it at all, actually. Let me back up.
Because they'll say, like, there's a disproportionate number of colored women in blah, 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 blah. And they're encompassing. Like,
I would take that to mean Black women.
It's not, though.
No,
They're talking, like, in acting, for instance, or in leadership in America, or...
Like saying minority.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, but
I can get with that. I mean, I don't know that. I'm not a fan of putting label, but like I'll call you Jake. I don't need to call you colored or black or any of that nonsense. But
right, but when you're talking about like statistics in the workplace or in media,
statistical analysis never lies. Nothing.
Are you talking about?
I'm talking about crazy guy.
Crazy guy.
Johnny.
Oh.
Statistical analysis.
Johnny who?
Johnny Clayton.
Oh, in the book. Yeah.
I don't remember specifically, but from his rant.
One of her arguments was his statistical analysis said that this was going to happen and that happened, and his statistical analysis said that this was going to happen. So she's like, sure, the world's going to end.
That's how she devolves.
Yeah, maybe we should just get to that because.
That's what I'm saying. That's like the next big thing that happens. Well, everything else in between is kind of like
the whole suicide thing.
That's what I'm referring to.
Oh, I thought you were talking about him showing up.
He does show up.
Before that, there's the whole suicide thing.
That's when he shows up and they start dating again.
Johnny
Clayton.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant Jake.
So you're talking about Jake going. So who's showing up?
Jake's showing up when the whole suicide
right,
thing.
Where are we
suicide thing.
Jake showing up?
Yeah.
I thought you meant Clayton. Okay.
Nope, I meant Jake.
That's the boring part.
Before that, it's just kind of.
That's the boring part.
I mean, I like the jump rope.
Jump rope girls are kind of jerks.
bratty little bitches.
Yeah, they're very, very bratty.